Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new presentation. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about how you can stay on track during the holiday season. So, obviously, as of filming this video, tomorrow will be Thanksgiving. And for those of you who don't know what Thanksgiving is, it is this big American tradition where you gather around with your friends and family and just eat a bunch of delicious foods. We got turkey on the table, stuffing, what else? Mashed potatoes, Brussels sprouts, cranberry sauce, which I've never really understood why that is there, but hey, each to their own, I guess. And so staying on track during the holiday season can be kind of challenging, being surrounded by all this delicious food, obviously, but it is absolutely still possible with some mindful planning and a balanced approach. And so in today's presentation, I'm going to be giving you guys some secret sauce and share with you some actionable tips. So let's just jump straight into it. Now, before we do though, I do want to address the elephant in the room. So if you guys are watching the video, you guys are probably wondering, like, Conan, why are you wearing a jacket? So as of this morning, I went on my morning walk as usual. Normally, I don't ever wear a jacket. It's November 22nd. And in Houston, Texas, it hasn't been too cold as of just yet. Like, it's still kind of warm-ish. Not really, but as of this morning, it got down to like, I think 47, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is cold, at least from what I'm used to. And which is why I'm kind of like wearing this puffer jacket. And I have not taken it off since because the residual cold is still kind of like within me, if that makes sense. So I'm keeping a jacket on just for now. So don't mind me. I feel nice and cozy. So let's just jump straight into the presentation. So when it comes to being on track during the holiday season, and again, you guys can apply these tips whether it's on Thanksgiving. Obviously, after Thanksgiving will be Christmas dinner. And then Boxing Day. What else is there? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It seems like every other week, especially during this time of year, is like a new celebration, a new holiday. So this doesn't just apply to Thanksgiving. This applies to all year, all round, even 4th of July, whatever, whenever. These tips you can apply to any holiday. So the first tip I have for you is to start off healthy. I cannot emphasize this point enough. If you start the day, let's say it's Thanksgiving Day, you know you're going to have a big, massive dinner later on in the day. If you start by eating a sugary cereal, sugary breakfast, pancakes, waffles, maple syrup on top, you're just kind of setting yourself up for an even worse rest of your day, right? Because now not only have you started off on the wrong foot, you're going to be craving all these like sugary and tasty foods all throughout the day, right? Whereas if you start off nice and healthy, have a breakfast that's high in protein, high in fiber, get some fruits and vegetables in there, you're pretty much covering all your bases. Like, you're starting off great, you're having a great source of protein to start the day, and you're getting your fruits and vegetables in earlier on as well. So you don't have to worry about that as much when the turkey dinner comes around, right? And so this can also help stabilize your blood sugar levels and keep you feeling fuller for longer, which will also reduce the likelihood of overeating later on in the day. And now here's a bonus tip, and the reason why this is a bonus tip, because a lot of people, or at least some people, can kind of like take this out of hands. This is what I do personally. It works great for me, but I know some people, it drives them crazy and they just end up overeating later on in the day. But that is fasting. So I generally usually always just fast every single morning. Like, I'm not a huge breakfast eater. I usually wait a couple hours for me to have my first meal. I'll wake up, I'll do my work, I'll have some of my mushroom coffee. I talked about my mushroom coffee yesterday, actually, but yeah, no caffeine, just mushroom coffee, work for a few hours, and after that, I'll have my first kind of meal, which usually is a pretty high protein meal. But I do know some people, especially if you're not used to fasting, like if you're used to just having a meal as soon as you wake up, don't try this on Thanksgiving Day, because it could go horribly wrong. Because if you were to fast and let's say you're really hungry, you kind of like starve yourself for the first couple hours of the day, you're just gonna like set yourself up for failure afterwards, because you're gonna go to the Thanksgiving dinner after not eating much at all throughout the day, and you're just gonna go overboard. You're gonna feel so hungry, and when you're in that kind of like hungry state or like hangry state, you kind of get angry, you get upset, and you're just like so food focused, and you just end up eating a lot more than you would have had you just had a regular breakfast that's high in protein and all that good stuff, right? So know yourself. If you know that you can kind of fast for a couple hours and then have a high protein meal, totally fine, go do that. That's what I would do personally. But if you know deep down that, okay, if I fast for a couple hours, I'm just going to be thinking about food the entire time, and then come Thanksgiving dinner time, I'm just gonna eat like a horse and definitely go overboard. So know yourself, but that is why that is a bonus tip. Try it out if you want to. The second tip here is hydration. And this doesn't just apply because it's the holidays. Like this should apply every single day of the week. Like every single day, you should focus on being hydrated. Going back to my morning routine, first thing I do before I even have my mushroom coffee is I'll drink 1 liter of water along with my supplements. It's part of my morning routine. When I wake up, I'll brush my teeth, whatever, wash my face. I'll go downstairs, and the first thing I do before my mushroom coffee, before having food, is 1 liter of water. Make it part of your morning routine. Water is absolutely crucial. Drink plenty of water, not just in the morning, but throughout the day. Because sometimes our bodies can interpret dehydration as hunger, which can lead to unnecessary snacking throughout the day, which is not ideal, right? Additionally, staying hydrated can help you control your appetite too. This is such a big thing. A lot of people, and you may kind of like try this out for yourself. A lot of people will wake up in the morning and they'll be like, oh my goodness, I'm so hungry, I'm starving. But hang on a minute, like, have you drinking your water yet? You're like, no, why would I drink water? I mean, you should drink water because obviously you've gone, let's say, 7 to 9 hours of sleeping where obviously you do not eat and you do not drink any water. And like I said, we often mistake hunger for dehydration. And so it's really important before, like, if you start feeling hungry, have a tall glass of water, have 2 tall glasses of water before even considering to eat, because you may notice that after having those 2 glasses of water, hang on a minute, I'm not actually that hungry. So try that out, especially first thing in the morning. Like if you're starving in the morning, do not eat. Wait a second, relax, calm down, have some water first, and then you'll probably not be as hungry. If you are still hungry, then by all means, go ahead, eat some food. Obviously, make sure it's high in protein, but just make sure you drink lots of water, especially first thing in the morning. Now, the third tip here is to exercise. This is so important, guys. If possible, get your workout done first thing in the morning, or at least earlier on in the morning, at noon, in the afternoon, before the Thanksgiving dinner, because realistically speaking, there's no chance in heck that you're going to be able to physically be able to have an amazing workout after absolutely stuffing yourself with the Thanksgiving dinner. Like there's absolutely no way, because obviously like after eating a big meal, you're not gonna be like, oh, let's work out, let's get a pump in the gym. Like, I mean, unless you have a smaller ish kind of meal, but I mean, let's be realistic here. You're gonna be eating quite a bit during Thanksgiving dinner, right? Or any type of holiday. And so make sure that you just get the workout done first. And one thing that you guys have probably heard before, but that is eat the frog. If you've never heard this before, basically what that means is that eat the frog. Well, why would I eat a frog? Well, the entire purpose of eating the frog first is let's say for dinner time you have, okay, that's actually a great example. Let's say for Thanksgiving dinner, you got your turkey, you got your stuffing, and you got this frog that you have to eat. Well, realistically speaking, would you rather eat the frog afterwards, after eating the turkey, after eating the stuffing, after eating all the delicious foods? Or would you rather eat it first, so you get it done and out of the way, and then you can actually focus and indulge and enjoy the actual Thanksgiving dinner of the turkey and the stuffing? Let's say you do the first option. Let's say you leave it to the end. Well, that's going to suck, because for the entire dinner, it's just going to ruin everything. It's going to ruin the experience, because you know deep down that, okay, despite me enjoying this right now, I know that I'm still going to have to eat this frog later on, right? We're just going to play. It's just gonna suck, right? Just having to think about that the entire time. Like you can't focus on the conversations you may have at the dinner table. You can't focus on actually like the actual good food, right? Because in the back of your mind, you know, okay, I still have to eat this freaking frog, which I really don't want to. Oh, it sucks. Whereas if you were to eat a frog first thing for dinner, it's like, okay, like it may suck, but you got it out of the way, and now you can actually finally focus on like the actual good stuff, the good food at hand. It's similar to like eating the first course meal and then having dessert afterwards, or having like your fruits and vegetables first and then having a dessert after, right? It's almost like a treat afterwards. You don't want to have your treats before like eating your fruits and vegetables, right? Like you want to get the boring stuff down first, and then afterwards you can indulge in like the treats and the sweet stuff, right? Same thing applies with your workouts. Like you want to get the tough stuff, and just goes with anything in life. You want to get the hard stuff done first thing in the morning. So get your work done first thing in the morning. Get your workout done first thing in the morning. Get your steps in first thing in the morning. Get all the important tasks done first thing in the morning, so that once that's done, I mean, it frees up so much more time. It frees up so much stress. You feel relaxed. You feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You feel so much better. Whereas if you leave all of this hard stuff towards the end of the day, you're just going to be thinking about it all day. It's just not going to be a good situation to be in, right? So eat the frog exercise first thing in the morning. This can also boost your metabolism and provide you with a sense of accomplishment that encourages healthier choices throughout the day. So that's a big hack for you right there. And now, once we are actually at the dinner table, it is Thanksgiving dinner time. All the food is around you. Choose wisely. I'll say this one more time. Choose wisely. So when at social events, try to survey the food options before loading up on your plate. So I always do this, whether it's on a breakfast buffet, dinner buffet, all you can eat buffet. I always do this. It's been a habit of mine and it's absolutely insane. And that is to load up on proteins and veggies first. You can include some fruit there too, but load up on the proteins and veggies first. Literally going back to my first analogy, eat the frog. Get the boring stuff in your system first. And the reason why you want to eat proteins and vegetables is that number one, protein obviously is super important to build muscle. Secondly, protein is the most satiating macronutrient out of all three macronutrients. So obviously there's carbs and fats as well, which digest a bit quicker in your body, whereas protein actually takes the longest to digest. And so you may notice that this will kind of like help make you feel fuller for longer, which is amazing, right? Plus the vegetables obviously are high in fiber as well. So this can also help make you feel fuller for longer. And they're such a low calorie dense foods like the green beans, the Brussels sprouts, the spinach, all the other vegetables that you may have on the table. Focus on those first because they're very low in calories and they're very filling. And so by you combining the protein with the vegetables for your first couple plates, for your first couple servings, you may not be as hungry anymore, which is great because then on maybe like your third plate, your fourth plate, even though you wanted to eat all like the good stuff, like the stuffing, maybe the mashed potatoes, the gravy, all that good stuff, you're not gonna eat as much of it because now you're actually a lot fuller. And if you combine that with having a couple glasses of water, I mean, oh my goodness, you're gonna be so stuffed, you're gonna be so full, you're not even gonna be wanting to eat the stuffing. You don't even want to eat the mashed potatoes. You don't even want to look at dessert. You don't even want to think about dessert, right? And so that is such a big hack just to fill up on the proteins, the vegetables, have a bunch of water, and then afterwards, like if you're still hungry, please, by all means, I encourage you, have the sweets, have the more calorically dense, richer foods, like have all of those as well. But hopefully by doing the first option, it kind of like limits the damage because let's say you had all the richer, more calorie dense foods earlier on, and then afterwards you have your protein and veggies. I mean, oh my goodness, the damage is already going to be so severe. And by the end of it, so you're going to have so much of that good stuff anyway that you're not even going to be wanting to eat the proteins and vegetables, right? So load up on that first, then have the tastier foods. And here's a bonus tip as well for you guys. Use smaller plates and utensils. And now you're probably wondering, Conan, why on earth would I use a smaller plate and utensil? Well, research has actually shown that people eat less when they use smaller plates as it creates the illusion of a larger portion. So imagine eating like a massive bowl of cereal with like a tiny spoon. I mean, imagine how many spoonfuls you'd have to eat to go through the entire bowl. Same thing with like any type of dinner. It's like literally you don't have to use a smaller plate. A smaller plate would help because you can't put as much on your plates, which obviously in itself is a big hack, but just have smaller utensils, like have like a baby spoon with you. People may look at you weird, but just tell them like, trust me, bro, like just tell them that, like literally, because it'll require more like more spoonfuls, and it just gives off the illusion that you're eating a lot more than you actually are. So that's a quick little tip for you guys if you do want to try that out. And now another tip here is to try to avoid liquid calories. Now I'm pretty biased when it comes to this because I've never been a huge fan of alcohol to this day. Like I still hate it. I do not like wine. I do not like beer. I do not like anything else there is. Vodka, all this stuff, right? I'm sure there's some Christmas alcoholic beverages. And so I've never been a big fan of them. I never really have those drinks. Whenever I drink, I always just make sure it's water or a 0-calorie beverage, whether it's like a diet soda, diet Coke, any type of diet drink, really. Be mindful if you do want to drink your calories and try, like I mentioned earlier, try to choose water or other low-calorie options instead of like those sugary drinks or excessive alcohol. The reason why I say this is because obviously liquid calories don't fill you up as much. That's the first thing. And it's like, realistically speaking, I would so much rather get my calories from like actually eating my food and chewing my food and actually from like the turkey and the stuffing and all that good stuff, as opposed to like using all my calories on like this stupid drink that doesn't even fill me up. And it's just like it's like why? Like I could just be drinking water instead. Like I'm so biased towards this. Like I really hate just liquid calories in general. Like I've never been a big fan of them. Like I've never like gone into alcohol or any of that. If you do want to have alcohol, try to limit it to only like 1 or 2 beverages. Like don't go overboard because like you're there to enjoy the food, right? Like you don't want to get drunk. You don't want to like mess anything else up. Like, you already have all the food around you, so like, why make the damage even worse by drinking your calories? So please limit it if you can, or be like me, be boring like me, and just don't have any at all. Have a 0 calorie beverage or have water instead. And now, before wrapping up today's presentation, I want to provide you guys with some bonus tips. So the first tip I have for you, if you're in like a family gathering or like a Friendsgiving gathering, try to bring a healthy dish. This will basically ensure that there's going to be at least one option that you feel good about eating, right? It's like, you can be that one guy who, or that one gal at the party that brings like the plate of vegetables, or like that brings like the healthy food. You may get made fun of, but at least you know that you'll be able to eat that, right? And at least it provides like a more healthier options to the table, right? So that's one bonus tip. A second bonus tip is I'm going on a post-dinner walk. So there's a couple of reasons for this. So the first reason for it is because it can help with digestion. So after eating a large meal, you'll usually see a lot of people just like get on the couch, right? Relax, but that's already going to help with the digestion, right? It's actually going to take a lot longer. Whereas if you, after like a big dinner, like a big meal, you go on like a nice little walk outside, you get some fresh air, you get some more steps in. This can 100% help with your digestion. It also burns some extra calories. And it's also a great way to kind of like bond with like your loved ones, with your friends, catch up with people. And it's just a great overall time. I love going on walks. I usually go on walks after my meals. It's just a habit for me. Like, it helps with the digestion, and overall it's just a great kind of thing to do. And now the last thing that I have for you guys is to get back on track ASAP. I talked about this earlier on in the private Facebook group, but a lot of people, they'll have one cheat meal, right? Let's say it's the big Thanksgiving dinner. They'll have one massive cheat meal, and that'll kind of discourage them. And they'll be like, okay, you know what? Considering I already had this massive cheat meal, I may as well turn this cheat meal into a cheat day. So they have this big Thanksgiving dinner, and then before you know it, they have this big dessert as well. And then those two cheat meals put together turns into a cheat day. And the very next day, they wake up kind of sluggish, they wake up kind of bloated, and then they think to themselves, you know what? Because it's Thanksgiving week, let me just treat this entire week as a cheat week. So they turn a cheat meal into a cheat day into a cheat week. And because they're like, okay, you know what? Now December's around, it's Christmas time, Boxing Day, I'm going to be surrounded by all this food, I'm just going to turn this into a cheat month. So you can clearly tell that a cheat meal can very easily turn into a cheat month. And before you know it, you've lost all your progress. And that's not what you want, right? It's like, you want to still be able to stay fit, stay healthy, while still enjoying the food you love, right? Does it require a bit of work on your end? Yes, absolutely. Like, there's a reason why having a six-pack is hard. Like, there's a reason why most people are obese and overweight. I'm not saying this because I'm mean. I'm saying this because I'm stating facts. And that's because it's difficult. Like, it's difficult to get a six-pack. It's difficult to get healthy. So don't expect this to be easy, and do expect a bit of backlash. Like, I mentioned this with one of my clients, Asher, before. He's going to be around a lot of people for his family, and he told me that he may get made fun of with people saying, oh, Asher, who's this guy trying to eat healthy or trying to get on his fitness health, like whatever it may be, right? Like, just expect some backlash on that, and that's totally fine, because what you're doing is outside of the norm. Like, you trying to live a healthier lifestyle, and it pains me to say this, but you trying to be healthy, you trying to eat healthy, you trying to become the best version of yourself is outside of the norm. It's not what regular people do, right? So people, as I always mentioned, they're like crabs in the bucket. They would so much rather try to bring you down to their level instead of them leveling themselves up to their level. So just keep that in mind. You will get some, maybe people making fun of you, or just like indirectly saying a couple things to you, but don't take it the wrong way. Like, they're just jealous of you. They wish they had your discipline. Take it as a compliment, actually, because if they were not making fun of you, that probably means that you're doing something wrong, right? Going back to the point, get back on track ASAP. If you do indulge more than planned, please do not let it derail your entire holiday season. Like I mentioned, do not be that guy that turns a cheat meal into a cheat month. Don't be that guy. Please do not be that guy, because you worked so hard for your physique. You worked so hard for your health. And one of the things that is a good and a bad thing about health is that it can very easily be lost. Like, you can be healthy one month, but then the very next month, you can very easily lose your health. So do not take it for granted. You're going to have to do this for the rest of your life. And so why not make it part of your lifestyle? And so the very next day, the very next meal, ideally, get back to your regular eating and exercise routine as soon as possible. So to conclude this entire presentation up, remember, the key is moderation and balance. Enjoy the holiday season, savor your favorite treats, but also be mindful of your overall health and well-being. So with it out of the way, hopefully you guys took some tips and took some nuggets out of this presentation. As always, if you guys do have any questions for me, please let me know. But with that said, hopefully every single one of you listening to this has a phenomenal Thanksgiving dinner. You'll have some turkey, you'll have some stuffing, but as always, be mindful. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Peace.